Hello, Donna. Hi, Carol, Sharon, Stevie. How are you all doing? Are you guys cold? I love it. I love it. I love being chilly, but I'm so cold. And so I was getting ready and I thought, oh, yeah, you're cold right now. You won't be. Definitely going to do a little bit of stuff to heat us up today. Um, all right. Today's December 1st, right? Wow, crazy. Almost at the end of the year. So we have 2 weeks left of practicing yoga live. Not 2 weeks left of practicing yoga, but 2 weeks of practicing yoga live. So hopefully you're going to practice for the rest of the year. And I put together my 12 days of holidays, like kind of the stuff that I was going to share. And so I hope that you sign up today on my newsletter that's going to be coming out. All right, anything in particular going on? Because I have some thoughts today of what I'd like to focus on, and we'll see what happens. So I think I might keep my socks on. Yeah, I'm kind of chilly, it seems. So I don't know how you're all feeling. I'll take them off later, but for now I'm gonna leave them on. All right, I may even get an extra blanket. So we are going to use a chair today quite a bit. I'm going to get an extra blanket for some extra. All right, so I'm going to begin. You know, it's crazy because I am taking the weeks off, right? I'm going to teach for one more week next week, but honestly, it ends up anyway that it gets really challenging and life gets in the way during the holidays. So really, that's what happens. During the holidays, the life gets in the way, and honestly, our bones are not taking a break. So we sometimes make some not so great habits at the end of the year, but still it's really important to put our health in the forefront and to still do the best that we can. We know that the way to build stronger bones is to create a mechanical stimulation, so we have to demand more. And when we have this opportunity to show up together, I think it helps all of us, myself included, for us to actually really focus for this amount of time on our bones specifically. And of course, the other aspects that get strengthened, our joints, our muscles, our tendons. We stretch the connective tissue, we hydrate our body, we calm our mind. And then when we finish, we feel so happy that we did what we just did, right? So let's begin our practice today. I am going to use a chair quite a bit for the practice. So I'd like to begin with the chair. And the chair is great for many, many aspects of the practice. And so you'll see today how the chair can come into the practice and what it can help us do. And get some deeper bending, some more stimulation, some more stretching. So we're going to begin with the chair. This is also a really great thing to do if you do have low back issues, or if you've been go, go, go and you need to stop and to relax. Putting your legs up is so good for your biochemistry. It helps to bring the fluids back to the heart, and it gives the heart a break, in an essence, from having to pump back the blood up through gravity. There are some studies that have shown that it could be helpful for varicose veins. And so it's really, really, really great for your vascular system. And then it's good for the hip because it deeply sets the leg bones into the pelvis. And so it really helps to relax pelvic tension, hip joint tension, low back tension. So I do love doing legs at the chair, and I'd love to share this with you today because maybe it's not something you do very often. And if you don't have a chair, or if you're near a sofa or an ottoman, that's also a really great place to put your legs up. So I'm going to use some extra things today to support myself that I'll share, and maybe these become something that you do as well. The block and the strap will go off to the side for later. And then I am going to, this is a metal chair and I'm feeling just a little bit chilly. So I'm actually going to put my blanket on the chair to give myself some comfort. And I am going to use this underneath my body because I want a slight elevation. And I'm okay with not having anything under my head. So you may want something under your head. I know for many of you, having your head supported is important. And depending on where you are posturally, depending on what's happening in your spine, you may actually need that support underneath your head. So coming down into this position, always making sure that you maintain the integrity of safety in the front of your spine. You bring yourself into the position, and it may take a little while to get there. The key is that you want your entire lower calf to be supported. So you're going to need to move to the chair or to the sofa, the ottoman, whatever it is you're using, so that the back of your legs is up against the front of the chair. If you are going to add a little support underneath the body, you do that. If you want to put something on the chair, you do that. Get yourself comfortable here. Don't just come into it and then stay there if you're uncomfortable, because this is meant to be super comfortable, and it really can be. And then you want to arrange your spine, your rib cage, slide your shoulder blades closer to the spine, and bring your arms out to the side. Finding in your body something that feels comfortable, relaxing, and maybe even a gentle stretch somewhere. Maybe a couple of places. Bring your awareness to your head if you'd like to do a few side-to-side movements with your head. Letting your head make the shape of a rainbow. Bring yourself back to center. Feel the center of your head heavy in the ground. Arms out to the side. Close the mouth. Begin to breathe in and out through the nose. Bring your awareness to your legs. You want to let your legs get heavy. So let the legs sit nice and deep in the pelvis. Let them be heavy on the seat. No more holding. And feel your pelvis on the ground or on the blanket, whatever you have it on. Bring your awareness between the pelvis and the lower ribs, your belly, your core. Couple breaths here. Mostly muscular, and where a lot of the organs of digestion exist. So where we bring the nutrients into our body to build our bones, to build our cells or muscles. Take a couple of breaths here. Allow this to stretch and expand. And bring your awareness to your rib cage. Next few breaths, feel your rib cage stretch. So you're stretching the muscles between the ribs, the muscles that line the rib cage, front, back. Feel the lungs moving back towards the ground, towards the spine. Feel the side-to-side movement as you expand your ribs with breath. Bring your awareness to your neck. Breathe in and up to your neck, to the sides, to the front, to the back. Be as long as you can be in your neck. Rearrange your head if you need. The nervous system comes down through the neck vertebra, branching off where it needs. And one of the important nerves, the phrenic nerve that manipulates the diaphragm, comes out of this space. So allow the breath to come in and up, seeing, feeling, and creating space in your neck. Let's bring the hands onto the belly. Spreading the hands, bring the arms close to your body. Letting everything go inward. Breathing into your belly, feel the rise and fall of your belly here. Let your mind be in your hands. So feel the belly pressing into the palms. Feel the belly pressing to the left hand. Try to make your exhale be a little longer. Inhaling your belly to your left hand. And let the belly move back towards center. And then bring your awareness to your right palm. As you breathe, feel the belly moving towards the right palm. Extend your exhale. So when you come to your palm, slow down the exhale. Then inhale again, awareness to the right palm. Back to both palms. On the exhale, let your legs be heavy, your pelvis heavy. Slow down the breath. Finishing the breath you're on, take 3 more breaths, breathing to your palms, slowing down your breath, feeling your legs, pelvis, body be heavy. Letting your breath go, noticing how you feel. What's the state of your energy, mentally, physically, emotionally? Bring awareness to your fingers, to your toes. Start to bring movement into your body. Move in any way that your body feels it wants to move. Maybe you come to outstretched hands. You could flex your wrist, reaching your heel of your hand away. You could bring your legs up in the air, letting your leg bones sink nice and deep into your pelvis. Or heels on the chair, a little side to side. Whatever your body wants to do, close your eyes, start to move and see what feels appropriate, what feels good. And then bring yourself onto your side. If you have a blanket underneath, you may need to take that out. And then you're going to move onto your side. Bringing your awareness to your eyes. If they're closed still, allow them to blink open and then notice how you feel. Take your hand on the ground and then you're going to bring yourself all the way up and out. So I think I need to let Hamilton in and or out. And Sharon, you'll be so happy, right? Weren't you asking about him? Can you say hi to Sharon? Oh, I think he wants to do yoga with us. Hi, honey. Hi. So that breath that we just did, I wonder if you're feeling a little relaxed and grounded. A lot of components of that. Present moment awareness on the belly, bringing that awareness to the palms. Really important that we learn how to calm our nervous system. I just taught a group course on, in my group Healthy Gut, Healthy Bones course. My last section was on stress. And I looked at a lot of the research that's being done on bone health and stress. And so when we're stressed, we secrete a lot of cortisol hormone. And hormone imbalance is a root cause of bone loss. So really making sure that our hormones are in balance is really important for our bones. And stress and what happens biochemically is going to be a part of what contributes to bone loss. So learning how to manage stress is so important. And breath work is our greatest tool for this, present moment awareness. And when you do things like have a chair and put your body on the ground, these are all things that help to facilitate that parasympathetic nervous system stimulation, which is so important for managing stress hormones. And the thing is too, is that the adrenal glands where the stress hormones are secreted, many people don't realize this, but for those of us that are in menopause, our ovaries are no longer secreting the hormones. We're relying on our adrenal glands to do that. And the adrenal glands have 2 sections. One section is going to manufacture steroid sex hormones, testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, and the other side of the adrenals is secreting cortisol. And that is what will override steroid sex hormone production, the cortisol secretion. So really, really important that we learn how to manage our stress, breath work being the best way to do this. God, Sharon is so lucky today. She was asking about you. I think it was Hamilton you were asking about the most, Sharon. I just have to show you his blue eyes. I know I've showed you before, but let me just, because he's so pretty. Isn't he pretty? They don't look as blue as they really are, but they're super blue. But I think he doesn't really want to be here with us. He really wants to go out, and he knows that I'm in here and I can give him access to the outdoors. All right. Well, that was a nice little treat. Okay, so I really want you to pay attention to that. You're going to do what you're doing here to strengthen your bones. We're going to pull and push on our bones, and we're going to use stress as our friend in our body to create bone building stimulation. And then we need to make sure that we manage psychological stress, because psychological stress is one of the areas that contributes to bone loss. All right, let's move. So clear your space, keep your block and your strap nearby. And then if you want a blanket on the ground, you could put a blanket on the ground. That could be a really nice thing, actually. There's something about it whenever we implement tools of self-care, super important for us for self-care. And for some reason, a blanket under my feet just feels so luxurious. All right, so we're going to come to a standing position. When you have a chair here, you can actually really work on strengthening your hip joint. I do actually recommend that you don't have socks on when you're coming to standing, because for fall prevention, we want to make sure we take away any potential to slip. So bringing a foot forward, you could have your chair here. This can really help you maintain that nice deep hip that you unload from. And so as you unload slowly, slower you go, the more work you're going to be putting into your hip joint. Bring yourself up and bring yourself out. And we are going to sit on our chair. So get yourself into the position that you need. Come to the seated position on the chair. Whether you have your blanket underneath your feet or not, that's up to you. And then you're going to come to the front edge of your chair. When you're back, not at the back of the chair, you're actually stimulating the muscles of posture and alignment. So bring yourself forward. Let's come into Tadasana, mountain posture. So I'm actually going to get this away. I know I said that it felt luxurious, but I feel like I want to be a little bit more working right now. And I want to feel that connection of the ground under my feet. So really feeling that aspect of what the feet and how they can respond to where they are. Take your hands down alongside your body. Really push down with your hands. We're not casually sitting here. We're starting to bring in some stretch and some space and bringing in some tension into our body, bringing in the appropriate tension, stress that will create more strength and flexibility in our body. Reach down with your hands and up with your spine. Push your pelvis into the chair. Find Tadasana, mountain posture. Exhale. Inhale, let your arms go up. Gaze is up. Exhale, chin to chest. So spine is stationary. You're moving your shoulders, moving your neck, using breath. Exhale down, inhale up. One more. Come here, stay here. Reach up as high as you can. Pull your ribs away from your torso, from your pelvis. So really lengthen your torso. Now rock back towards the back edge of your pelvic bones. Try to bring your hands straight up above you. Try to unbend your arms. Look up. Push your pelvis down. Push your belly button towards your spine. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. So you should be creating a lot of tension there. With the head back, with the arms up, we're actually stimulating those upper back and neck muscles, really important for holding you upright throughout your day, which is going to lead to that stronger spine. Let's go into the spine and start to open up the spine in the 6 ranges of motion. So we're going to do the extension with the arms like this, so that the shoulder blades are actually going to glide along the back of your body, adding that back bend position, so that when you do this, there is a back bend that comes into the upper spine. You're not just staying stationary, bring your arms here. I want there to be this back bend where you lift your heart, slide the shoulder blades towards each other to push forward. So you start to stretch and lengthen the front of your spine. You could look up, you could bring your arms to the side. If your head, your upper neck is not happy with the head elevated, have the head straight ahead and bring your arms up like this, somewhere where you feel a stretch here and what can get in the way of that correct postural position. Okay, exhale, and then inhale. You choose whatever variation is good for you, and then exhale back down. Inhale, and exhale. Bring this into the bottom of the pelvis as well. You inhale, open, elbows bent a little, pushing back. And then when you come back to neutral, push your tailbone down, push your belly towards your spine. So you add a neutral pelvis back into the lumbar spine. Inhale, and then one more. And then bring yourself back to center. So whatever you're doing, do it as much as you can. This is your opportunity to create as much stress internally that's positive for strength and for spaciousness to come into your body. Take one hand down, one hand out. You're going to inhale up and over. Maybe make your legs a little wider here so you have a nice established base. If you have shoulder issues, you may need to modify and only let it be your elbow that goes up towards the sky. Do whatever's appropriate. If you could let your gaze look up as well, if your neck is okay with that. When we look to the side like this and we add this weight to our head, it actually does or can strengthen the upper back and neck. And you want to make sure it's appropriate. You could push in your heel of your hand into the chair to get as much length in your spine as you add the side bending. Do what's appropriate for you. And then bring yourself back to center. So that was extension, that was lateral side bending. Now we're going to bring rotation. Let's begin up here with the head. Head only looks over the side. So keep your torso straight. Inhale to look over, exhale back to center. Inhale, and then back to center. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's go a little bigger now. Rotation happens here. We want to focus on this part of our body moving. Let's use the elbows to help us. So if you let your elbow go back with your gaze, the shoulder blade will be back there to help to make sure that you stay extended in your thoracic spine for safe rotation. Inhale, elbow goes back. You could keep the elbow here and the hand here, or you could go bigger. Let it be that the elbow really goes back, and you could use your opposite hand to give a little bit more tension. You're going to feel this right around where the ribs and the spine meet, so the lower ribs meet the spine. If your pelvis moves as well, let it, because that's a safety valve. It means it needs to. It means you've gone to your range of motion. One more. And then bring yourself back to center. Depending on how strongly you do this, you may feel tension in the upper back or neck. So let's isolate cervical spine, 7 vertebrae here. Inhale, push your ear straight up towards the sky, and then come back to center. Ear straight up towards the sky, back to center. So really lengthen the neck. It's about lengthening. Your eyes are still pointing forward. Your eye trajectory does not change. So this is not about trying to get your head closer and letting your chin go up. That's adding rotation. You want the side bending lateral flexion in the cervical spine. And for balance, it's really important because there's so much communication here. Come back to center. Rotation, only the head is moving. Notice if you hear the snap, crackle, pop. There can be a lot of scar tissue that either has started to develop or maybe has become a little harder. And then bring yourself back to center. Teeth are together. Inhale. Only your neck is flexing forward down towards your chin. Your thoracic spine, front spine still stays open. Teeth are together. Chin up towards the sky. Reach out and up. Feel that stretch on the muscles of the neck. Exhale down. Inhale up. Long neck. Neck is bending forward. Neck is bending backwards. Close your eyes if you'd like. And then bring yourself back to center. Let your body absorb that. Let's take the strap. Take your strap, coming into a pretty wide stretch here, if your shoulders will let you. And reaching back and up. So stay in a pretty tight range of motion here. You're reaching your hands back. They're pretty far back. It's pretty far back behind your head. It's not grazing your head. It's pretty far back. And then go and stay hanging out in a place that feels appropriate for your shoulders, for your chest. Reach up with your strap and back. So feel the armpit stretch. Feel the chest stretch. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to upright. Take your legs pretty wide here. Do a little side to side. Now, this is working core muscles. So make sure that wherever you go is appropriate and you're able to safely bring yourself back up. Feel that strong core work necessary to bend the upper trunk like this. Push your pelvis into the ground. Activate your stabilizing muscles of the core. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring your hands down for a second. The shoulder blades live on the upper back. And wherever they go, if they're in their home, which is on the back of your body, right around here, then they're actually protective of the spine. So we want to use those shoulder blades. So let's push your shoulders forward, which is going to separate the shoulder blades. You may feel a stretch behind the shoulder blades, like right behind this part of your body. So you're pushing your shoulders forward. Now you're going to lift your shoulders up or push them up with the muscles. Push the shoulders back, slide the shoulder blades towards each other, and then slide the shoulder blades down the back of your body towards your pelvis. Push forward to separate the shoulder blades. Lift them up, push them back, slide them together as if you were trying to pinch a pencil between your two shoulder blades right behind your heart, and then slide them down, the tips of them, to the top of your pelvis. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's strengthen those muscles of posture, the muscles that are in between the shoulder blades, rhomboids, traps in the back of your body. Very supportive of spinal health, which is super important for bone health. Take your strap like this. You're going to bring your strap above your head and pull really hard, inhale, and then exhale to slide your strap down. Stay away from your head. You inhale up and you slide it down. Stay away from the head. So you're not touching your head. Up and down. The farther away from your head that you go, the more you're going to keep those shoulder blades in the back of the body. Push your pelvis down into the chair. You're at the front of your chair. Push your belly button to your spine. You're up and down. Chin is parallel towards the ground. Stay down. Pull on the strap. Do not let the strap touch your head. Push the strap back. Push it back. Keep it as far away from your head as you can. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Slide them down towards your pelvis, activating those mid-back, upper back muscles. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Keep your strap handy. Maybe, I don't want to say under the chair. I was going to say under the chair, but then that made me realize to go under the chair, we're probably going to be rounding our spine to put the strap there. Always raising our awareness to what's important for our bones. So let's put the strap behind us, still keeping our spine nice and elevated. And then let's get the block. Bring the block. Let's take the block like this. So staying with the shoulders, take your block like this, actually like this, where you're pushing with your hands. You're not grabbing it, you're pushing. Bringing the shoulders down and then inhale up. Exhale, activate your core, push the lower ribs towards your spine as if you're coming into a flexion, but you're not bending your spine. So you bring your elbows down, you activate your core, but you do not round. So activating the muscles of flexion, deep core flexion, but do not bend the body like that. So don't come into the flexion, but activate the muscles so you're not flexing your spine. Squeeze the block like crazy and feel the muscles activate. So working on the shoulder girdle, super important for posture. One more. And then bring that block off to the side where the block is, or where the strap is. So let's come into a seated variation of the Warrior Two, which is actually harder for many. So when we do this, we want the front leg to be supported by the chair. So maybe you could move your chair so that it's at an angle, so that you're diagonal. And then you take 1 foot back, try to get that leg straight, and then 1 foot forward. Try to be in alignment here so that the front heel would be intersecting the back arch, if you can. So really getting that deep hip, deep knee. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Reach down with your hands, exhale, and then inhale to bring your arms up, looking over that front hand. Push your feet into the floor, both of your feet into the floor, as if you were gonna lift up. You don't need to come all the way off, or you can if you want. Push your feet into the floor to lift up, to really load into the hip joint, stimulate the pelvic bones, really stretching, getting a bigger stretch here. Maybe the joints are in a deeper variation than usual, and maybe even a wider variation. Lift your heart, lengthen your spine. This is one of the variations of Warrior Two. This is the mid-range variation of the Warrior Two. So push into the chair, try to lift up or lift up, loading up your hip. The more you load, the more stimulation, the more bone building stimulation. It's up to you. Push your feet into the floor and lift and lengthen. Take one more breath. Lower down if you did come up all the way or partially. So I lift away from the chair. My back skin still touches, but it's not resting on it. So I'm in the loaded version almost completely, sometimes more completely than others, depending on the day. But we can actually create a lot of stimulation here in this. And this is harder. So if you're doing this and you're having a more challenging time, it is harder because you are bending deeper in this joint and this joint than you would have if you just entered into this posture. Most people don't go into the full 90-degree hip flexion in this. And then because we're in a wider stance here, you're going to start to bring in some issues maybe with tightness in the hip joint, in the pelvis, some where the spine is, just a lot of stuff can come up. So if you're trying this and you're feeling a little bit like, wow, this is intense. Yeah, it can be. Try to get this nice alignment where the front heel intersects the back. Straight leg if you can, active legs. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Reach down with the hands, exhale. And then inhale to raise your arms, always working hard. You're in a chair doesn't mean that it's not hard. If you want to let your body come forward a little or pushing in and lifting up, if that's available to you, maybe it is, maybe not. Use your feet to push into the ground to create those forces that come into the pelvis and the hips. Long spine, long neck. Create as much stimulation as that is appropriate for you today at this moment. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Come out, take a break in between. We enter these postures for about 30 seconds-ish. Some are more than others, some days more than others. That's a long time to create bone stimulation, yet in the scheme of things, it's really a short time for us to focus on, at this moment, I'm going to create the stimulation. So when you're in it, try to think about what a 30-second massage would be like. And realize that it's not as long as it seems, even though it can be really challenging. So we're going to come into the Warrior, the side angle from the Warrior Two. And so let's get our block for this one. and get the chair. So I like to turn it at an angle so that I have some support on that front leg. I can get the back leg nice and long coming into that nice aligned, and I already feel tremendous pulling in my pelvic area. There's that tension in that hip here. There's the tension in the adductors pulling on the pelvis, which is important in this posture. Put your block in front of that front foot. If you're going to use the block, get your toes pointing forward. Push your feet into the floor, get that length in your body. Shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Exhale. Then inhale to lift your arms. From here, reach forward, bend that front hip a little bit more, bring the belly closer to the top thigh, and then bring the hand onto the leg. Now, if you want, you can come into even more stretch. Maybe you could get a little lower here. Feel that stretch on the opposite hip. You could push into the ground and lift up, or stay with the stretch part of the posture. So it's your posture, your body, your bones. It's all about angles. Straight back leg, deeply bent front leg. Torso lifting away from the pelvis, long spine, and then rotational force to bring your torso forward, heart up towards the sky to create spinal bone stimulation. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way back up and out. Let's go to the other side. So sometimes in the chair, we can focus a little bit more on the stretching aspect of the posture. And the postures have different aspects. They have strength, stretch, and balance. So we get the opportunity to get maybe into some other areas. Put the block on the floor in front of that leg if you're going to use that. Establish this nice straight back leg, knee moving up into the side, front foot pushing in, intersection right at the middle of the back foot. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and they're down. Exhale, and then inhale to lift. From here, bring that front low belly closer to the thigh. Hand on the thigh. Stay here or come down onto your block. Really lengthen your spine here. Rotate your trunk forward. Back foot pushing into the floor, front foot pushing into the floor. Push that front inner knee away from you, lengthening the adductors. If you look up to the sky, you're going to strengthen your neck as well, if that's appropriate. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. And bring yourself back to neutral. So with the chair, there's a really greater potential, I think, to get more into creating space in the joints and really pulling on the muscles that are attached to bones. And that pulling sensation is actually stimulating bone growth. So that's more of the tensile stress that we're creating on the bones. So let's get our strap, either looping the strap so that your arms can go in like this. If I was teaching it live, I may consider putting the strap on the upper thighs, but I don't feel comfortable with that if I can't be in the room with you and see you, because of if you were coming up into chair posture from the chair with a strap around here and you lost your balance, I would have to be around and make sure that everything was safe and see who I was working with. But if you feel really strong about your balance, you could put the strap around your upper thighs, pushing out to activate hip flexors and hip muscles when you're doing the chair. We could put in our arms and push into it so we really activate the shoulder girdle. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to push into the strap to activate the shoulder girdle. So you're going to bring the block between your legs to activate the core stabilizing muscle group at the center of your body. Come to the very front edge of your chair. Take your hands in your strap. Walk your feet back closer to your chair so that the heels press into the ground, and bring your hands forward. Squeeze your block. Your knees are forward of your feet. Take an inhale and then bring yourself forward. Push your feet into the floor. Lift your pelvis up a little bit away from the chair. Pushing out of the strap. Now push your knees back so you can see the front of your feet, and lift your arms up. Really push out on the strap. Squeeze the block. Push your heels into the floor to correct the pelvis, to protect that low back. Go a little deeper if you can, creating that deep stimulation in the glutes. Long front spine. Deep breaths here. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way up. Feel the heat in the quads. Let's take the strap off to the side. Range yourself appropriately near a wall if you need it. Let's find mountain posture, posture of alignment. So toes together, eyes closed would be the strongest variation of the mountain. And then from there, anything else you need. Let's catch our breaths. Pressing your feet into the floor, push down with your feet, down with your hands. Long spine, lengthen neck, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Eyes are open or closed, it's up to you. Catch your breath, working in the mountain to find alignment. Reach down with your hands, push your feet into the ground, push the heels into the ground. Try to rip the floor apart with your feet so you have active feet, pushing down and out. Hands are down, top thighs back, tailbone down, spine long. Take one more breath. Let's come into the tree. It's nice to do tree posture because it's a balanced posture before your legs get too fatigued. So from here, bring your body weight onto one side, bending your knee, leg out to the side, and bring your foot up in between your ankle and your knee. Push down with your foot, tall with your spine. Find a gaze. That is going to be what helps you the most. Stare at something straight in front of you, like a dot. No matter what's happening around it, really focus your gaze on that one dot. Stay in it. Do what it takes. Stay present moment. Bringing yourself out. Bring your foot onto the ground. Push your feet down, reach down with your hands in that alignment of a mountain. Bring your body weight to the other side. Bend the toes, knee to the side, and bring your foot up, coming into the mountain on this side, or into a tree on this side. Push your foot down, push your foot into your leg, hands are down, tall body, and find the focal point. If you come out, come right back in. This is for your femur bone, for your hip joint, for the neck of your femur, for the pelvic bone, to strengthen your balance, confidence, and sense of accomplishment. Bring your knee forward and bring yourself out. Back to mountain. Reach down, reach up. And then shake your fingers. Shake your legs. We're going to come into twisted triangle. Pretty intense posture. If you're newer to the practice, having the chair like this can be nice to have the back of the chair to add that rotational force to the upper trunk. So if you're newer to the practice, I'd recommend that you bring your hand onto the back of the chair. And then if you have a stronger practice, maybe you're going to come down onto the ground with the block, or you're going to stay at the chair. So whatever you do, the front leg that goes forward is the direction you're going to rotate towards. This is a twisted triangle. So you want your feet about 2.5 feet apart. Push your heels into the ground. The flexion or the bend happens at the hip. So push your tushy away. Start bending at your hip. You can put your hand on the top of the chair or on the seat of the chair. Or you could come all the way down onto the block if you could keep your spine straight or neutral. Push the feet into the floor. Hand is on the waist, or you could take the back of the hand on the sacrum, opening up the shoulder, lengthening your spine. Do what's appropriate for you. Push your back foot into the floor, especially the big toe, and try to add the spiraling action that comes from the back big toe all the way up to your pelvis. Find a focal point. Balance, strength, and flexibility in the twisted triangle. Push your heel into the floor, push away from the floor. Add that twerking action to your pelvis and spine and body. Take one more breath. Take the tension out by bending the front knee. Keep your head lifted, keep your spine long. Bring your block with you if you're using it. Gather yourself. So the breath, the mind. Coming to the other side. This is the opportunity to create lots of stimulation for your pelvis, for your hip. You want to do it appropriately, safely, and at the right pace for you. You want to only use the energy you have to give today and not go to a place of depletion. So stay here, stay with your breath. Feet are 2 feet apart. Front leg is forward, and that's the direction you're going to turn your body in. Hands on your waist, spine is elongated. Press your feet into the floor. Start to bend that front hip joint. Maybe it's enough for you to be on the top of the chair. Maybe you're going to come down onto the seat, or maybe you can come down onto the block. You decide. Maybe one side is different than the other. That's okay. Push your feet into the floor, especially that back foot, that back big toe edge. Find something to gaze at so you can find that stability and balance. Long spine, rotated spine. Push away from that back foot, big toe of the back foot. Finish up your breath. You bend the front knee. You You keep your head lifted, keep your spine long, bring yourself up, out into Tadasana, mountain. Breathe down to your feet, catch your breath. Let's go to the Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon posture. This is a lot of balance. So you want to be careful here. You could do it with the block or you could do it with the chair. Let me show you what this is. This is balancing on the side of your hip joint. It is a balanced posture and it's strength and it's flexibility, a little challenging. So being near a wall, if you have a little bit of issues with balance, may be the best choice for you, or a chair or a block. So when we come to this, you have a block there or the chair. I think today I'll do the chair. You could also do this on the forearm. So this is also done in the forearm as a modification, although I find it to be almost as hard, if not as hard, as doing it with your hand on the chair. So you decide. I think today I'm going to put my hand on the chair. So your foot is facing the chair, your hand goes on the chair, and then load into that leg, activate your core and start to actively lift the leg up, and then turn your body forward. So you're balancing on the side of your hip joint. Lengthen your spine. Hand can stay on your waist, or the hand can go up in the air, whatever's appropriate for you. Choose what's the best for you today. Keep that top leg active. Flex the foot, reach through the heel. So push one heel into the ground and one heel reaching away from you. Stay safe. To dismount, you bend the standing leg, come out nicely, bring yourself all the way up slowly, letting your blood pressure calibrate. Let's go to the other side. Block or chair, you decide. The foot faces the direction of the chair. You load onto that front leg, put your hand on the chair or the block, and you activate your core. You enter this lifting your leg up. Very active leg that you're lifting, working the side hip muscles here. And on the ground, rotating your pelvis forward so that you're stretching those hip muscles, arm up if that's appropriate, or on your waist, you decide. And then push the heel into the ground and reach through the heel that you're lifting. Really strong forces through the heels. One more breath. To come out, you bend the standing leg. Keep your head elevated. Bring yourself up, out, and find mountain. Let's go into triangle, creating some force in the pelvis. Again, it's a lot of hip work today. So if you're feeling a little fatigued, maybe not going as low. So with the triangle posture, you could come down onto the block, or maybe you've had enough of that. And maybe you want to be on the chair, really focusing on lengthening your spine and rotating your spine. So there's many different aspects to each posture that we're doing. We're pulling, twisting, creating stimulation in a lot of different places. So you choose what's appropriate for you. You either have a block on the ground or the chair. Take your legs into a wide stance, toes under the chair, back heel away from you. Bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Reach down with your hands. And then inhale to reach your arms up. From here, reach long so you're nice and long on that side. Feel that stretch coming to the back thigh. Either the hand goes onto the chair, the top, the
seat, or onto the ground, whatever's appropriate for you. Pushing into the ground, lengthening your body, reaching your hands nice and long. Really pull the fingers apart from each other, push the feet into the ground, and bring that tension into your pelvis. Pull and push effectively for you. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up and out. Let's switch. Take the block wherever you're going to take it. Come into this nice wide stance. Toes up, away from you. Heel back. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Reach down with your hands. Exhale. Inhale. Keep that front leg straight. That's one of the keys with triangle posture. Keep the front leg straight, keep the back leg straight, and wherever you're going to be in your triangle. Take one more breath. Bring yourself up into mountain. So we're going to come down onto the ground for our last few postures. Take your chair off to the side. Grab your blanket and your strap. When you come down by loading into your joints, so wide stance. You can put your hands on your thigh to bring yourself down. A little challenging to load into joints like that, but a way to keep them nice and strong. Let's come onto your body, onto your tushy. We're going to do a reverse plank to stretch the back of the body, to stretch and to open up the front. So toes are pointing forward, shoulder blades slide towards your spine. Inhale, and then exhale, push away from the ground, lift your pelvis. This is a reverse plank, holding this for 30 seconds. Really push your feet into the floor and your hands into the floor. Try to get as flat with your torso as you can. Paying attention to the shoulders here for those of you with shoulder issues. Do what's appropriate. Push your fingertips into the floor to disperse the weight in your hands. Creating strength in the wrists, very important for bone health. Push your feet into the floor. Take one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself down. Bring yourself all the way down onto the ground. Let's take our strap. Bring the strap through the feet all the way up to your thighs. And if you don't have a loop, then tie it. We're going to do our bridge like this today. It's a nice way to do bridge posture, staying with that strengthening forces we're bringing into the hips today. A lot of hip strengthening today for sure. So we're going to continue with that. You'll need your blanket to move away from the back of your head and make yourself more narrow across the top. So really narrow across the top. Either arms stay bent, you put your hands straight, or you clasp your hands if that's available to you. Walk the feet closer to your body. Tilt your pelvis backwards to allow your low back to press into the ground. Lengthen the neck, chin to chest. Exhale. Push out on the strap as you inhale. Peel your spine up and away from the ground. Press your straight arms or bent arms into the ground, or clasp if that's what you do. Trying to bend your spine here, bend the upper spine. So push the shoulder blades to the spine and the heart towards your nose so that you're bending your upper spine. Use the shoulder blades to help you. And then stretch the front of your spine by pressing the pelvis up and lengthening your knees away from you. Use your arms to help support the upper back bend. Take one more breath. And then when you come down, let it be slow. Blanket back behind your head. Bring the strap off your feet. So I'm going to do one more posture that's relaxing, yet we're still active here. So you're going to take the strap, bring the left foot up and put the strap on the left arch. We're going to pull and lengthen the back of the body, creating a little freedom in the back of the body, but at the same time pulling on the pelvic bone to create strength. So pull your strap down, really root that leg deep into the socket. Right leg could stay bent or you could straighten it. It's up to you. Keep the leg straight. That's the most important part. And then guide the leg towards the wall behind you. Strong stretch right where your leg attaches to your body. Pull the strap down so that you're rooting that leg bone in the hip joint. Pull the leg back so you're pulling on the hamstring where it begins, right where the leg attaches to the body, at the pelvis and the back of the leg bone. Feel it there. Pull down, push the leg away with the muscles. Draw the leg towards the wall behind you. Very strong. You're not just hanging out here. You're trying to pull on your pelvis. Make it stronger. You may feel it in other parts of your body as well, but we really want that attachment area. Take one more breath. Bring your right foot up into the air and switch. Put your right arch into the strap. Pulling down right away, keeping that leg straight. Firming up that right leg. Push that right leg away and now guide the right leg towards the wall behind you. Feel a strong sensation where your leg attaches to your body. Pull down, push away. Pull the leg back towards the wall behind you. Straighten the leg. Push the leg away. Feel the tension. Create as much of it as you can. And then release. Bring your knees into your chest. Rocking side to side. Take your legs and your arms up, shake, let everything settle. A lot of stimulation created today for the bones. So we're going to come into the Shavasana. Shavasana is not for you to think about what you're doing tomorrow or yesterday. It's for you to stay present moment, very aware in this moment. Give your body the opportunity to take all the stimulation you created to build more bone tissue. Don't let stress, don't let thoughts, don't let yesterday or tomorrow come in your mind. Stay here, stay with your breath. It's the best way to stay present moment. Focus on your breath. Arms could be to the side if you'd like. Hands could be on the belly. You could breathe to your palms. Whatever is the best way for you to stay present moment, find that. 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리양 가리양 내 맘에야 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리양 가리양 내 맘에 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리영 가리영 내 맘에야 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리영 가리영 내 맘에야 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리영 가리영 내 맘에 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리영 가리영 내 맘에 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리영 가리영 내 맘에야 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리영 가리영 내 맘에야 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리영 가리영 내 맘에 감에 고민내 못간대 우다래야 바래 가리영 가리영 내 맘에 감에 Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your breath to your hips, to your pelvis. Keep your mouth closed. Direct the breath to your pelvis, to your hips. Bringing oxygen down to the pelvis and to the hips so that cells can use the oxygen to build more bone tissue. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees. Draw your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. Noticing before you open your eyes what's happening in your body. Was today's practice appropriate? Did you ask for enough? Not too much? It's important to ask yourself so you know how to show up each time for the practice. Your practice. Come onto your side. Take your hand onto the ground. You're going to push yourself away and up, keeping your eyes closed. Let's close with a vibrational relaxation humming sound up and down the body, releasing relaxation chemicals in our body with humming. Hands pressed towards the heart, heart towards the hands, nice long spine. Exhale. Inhale. In gratitude for this opportunity to strengthen our body, our bones, confidence. Important to check after today. There's a lot of strengthening that took place in the practice, a lot of hip stimulation, a lot of pulling and pushing, making sure that it's appropriate for you. That's really important because you want to always show up to ask for more from your bones. And if you push yourself too much or do too much, then you'll think this is not for you or not safe. And it's not the postures themselves, it's where in the posture do you find yourself. And so find yourself in the place that is your edge slightly over. Here is where my body is, but let me push it a little bit. Let me ask for a little more. And learning what that little bit more is that's appropriate for you. That is part of the practice itself, is figuring out what is your practice today at this moment. That's part of the practice. All right, Sharon, wasn't that a nice little treat? Is it Hamilton you ask about? I think it's Hamilton more than Carson, right? But that was just a nice little treat. Hi, Kathy. Great. Yeah, I know you love that strong work, Donna. Today with the strong girls. Oh, yeah. I was wondering if you heard that meow. You're so in tune, Sharon. Yes, you love them all. Okay, yeah. I'll tell you that little Betty that we were watching, that little French bulldog we had for 2 weeks, boy, did she get into my heart in a deep way. I'll tell you, I miss that little creature. Not enough to get a dog, but I really, really miss her. Okay, so drink a lot of water. Make sure that today was appropriate for you, that you pulled and pushed appropriately so you can modify next time or demand more next time. Great. Thanks, Sharon. All right, good. Yeah, a lot of stretching too, right? A lot of pulling on things, even pushing and pulling. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be here Saturday. I'll be here all 5 classes next week, and then we're off. All right. Thanks for joining me. Oh, no, I did have a dog, Sharon, but we put her down. We had 2 dogs, and last year at 16, I had to put one down, and then September 17th, we had to put the other one down. She was 17 and 3 weeks, 17 years, 3 weeks. I think we kind of probably waited a week or 2, a little bit longer, because that's just such a big decision. That's a really long age. I mean, she had a great life for a lot of years. So yeah, not anymore. All right. Thank you, ladies. Have a beautiful day. Don't be too stressed for the holidays. Bye.